All right. Good morning, my family, my tribe of the whole healthy woman. How are you today? We've had a little bit of a break, the holiday, and something that came up during the holidays is my son and daughter-in-law and their two little girls couldn't come over Christmas Day because he had come down with a head cold and he tested negative on everything. It wasn't strep, it wasn't flu, it wasn't COVID, so it was just a good old cold. And then New Year's Day, I had an open house for my world famous black eyed pea soup, and I had four different guests drop out at the last minute again because of a virus, a common cold. And then Sabrina asked the question yesterday, how do I protect myself against viruses? So I thought we might go back to the drawing board, literally, I have a drawing board here, and talk about the differences between, first of all, bacterial infection. Samples of what a bacterial infection are could be tuberculosis, tetanus, lepto, pneumonia. There's a bacterial meningitis, strep, UTIs, whooping cough. Those are bacterial infections, and those are when you're supposed to get an antibiotic, an antibacterial medicine from the physician. Now, viruses are the common cold, the COVID, SARS, herpes, flu virus, of which there are hundreds. AIDS is a virus. Chickenpox and shingles are viruses. There's a viral hepatitis. So if you go to the doctor and you've got a cold or the flu and they give you an antibiotic, that's so inappropriate. Because sometimes the doctor feels like that's all he can do is to throw at you an antibiotic. But every time you do an antibiotic, your body builds up tolerance to it. And the virus is clever. It builds up a tolerance to it. So on my drawing board here, we're going to try to get this kind of illustrated. But, yeah, go this way. Here's the human cell. This is your human, this is one of your cells. And those are cell membranes, okay? And every cell membrane is a lipid. It's a fat. So you need to know that your cell membranes, I gotta get used to going which way and which way. And your cell has, mitochondria, the little bacteria, and it's got its DNA, and along comes a nasty bacteria. Here we go. And a bacteria is nasty. But they're big. Can you see that? And maybe not a dark enough color. They're big. They can't pass through the cellular membrane. They float out here, what we call the interstitial fluid. But a doctor comes along and gives you an appropriate antibiotic to come and nail that bacteria, right? Now, a virus is very tiny, 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 tiny. And it can pass through the cellular membranes, and that's how we get sick. They get in there, and they cannibalize your cell's DNA and material, and they populate and populate and populate until they finally have cannibalized this entire cell, and they burst out and get into your bloodstream. And that's how when you catch a cold or the flu or something, you feel like, bam, I just got hit by a truck, because it comes on very suddenly. But they replicate inside. Viruses are tiny. They do not have their own DNA, whereas a bacteria is larger and has its own DNA. Now, what can we do to protect against this sneaky little tiny bug virus? Well, first of all, thinking of the size of our cell membranes and that they're phospholipids, they're fat. I've always promoted using an essential oil. And the reason I do is because essential oils are phospholipids and they can pass through the barrier, the cellular barrier. So one of my favorite antiviral tips during this season is to diffuse in various rooms around the house the doTERRA On Guard blend. It has been shown, and you can go to PubMed and look it up. Vanderbilt University used it in tests that shows that it reduced infection rates in the ICUs at Vanderbilt. It's antibacterial and antiviral because it's a phospholipid. It's an oil that can pass through. Now, the other ways that I love to use On Guard is that they do have beadlets. It's a tiny little pearl that you can put in your tongue and pop. I don't do that as often, but I will put 2 drops, not 4, not 5. This is a very hot oil. Clove and cinnamon and peppermint and orange. So I will have a little shooter glass. I should have brought a shooter glass in. Of water, 2 drops. I put it in my mouth and I gargle, swish and swallow. Viruses, especially the COVID one, likes to hang out in the nasal passages and in the back of our throat. So we want to eliminate that. The other thing we can do is it does come in a roll-on. doTERRA makes a roll-on. We roll it on the bottom of our feet. Why is that, Leslie? Bottom of your feet? Well, the largest pores in your body happen to be on the bottom of your feet. So it's a great way to get it into your system. I also like kind of putting it on my tonsil points, even though I no longer have tonsils. I have lymph nodes there. So that's my favorite antiviral using essential oils. Diffuse it, gargle with it. It does come in a handy spray. I'm waiting on my sprays. And I'm going to spray doorknobs. I'm going to spray anything that people touch, the telephones or the countertops. You can keep your countertops clean and using an antiviral. And I'm not saying Lysol or bleach, none of that, that is damaging to your system. In addition to that, I, love vitamin C and quercetin and zinc. Jigsaw Health, which is a fabulous company, has come out with Pure Whey C+. Now, I would tell you, lysine is a real good antiviral. My clients and friends that have herpes breakouts, chickenpox, shingles protection, lysine is very powerful antiviral. Garlic is a very powerful antiviral. That's why you have some of the old, not a wives' tale, but an old homeopathic trick is if you've got an ear infection, children get ear infections, they are viruses. Do not give a child an antibiotic. They put garlic, a big clove of garlic in their ear. So garlic draws out the virus. A hot bath. So when we develop a virus, we develop fevers, and that's our body's fighting mechanism. Your immune system is kicking in saying, I need to go after this virus. Viruses don't like heat. So now, do I want your fever to go to 104, 105? No, we want to monitor that. But if your fever's at 99 to 102, and I'm not a medical doctor, don't take this as medical advice, no, my disclaimer. But at 99 to 102, your body's kicking in to destroy that virus. And in 2020, September 2020, when I did have the thing that was going around, Scott and I both did, we took very hot baths every night, and we got in our infrared sauna every morning to sweat and to destroy the virus. So hot bath, something that's antiviral around your home, like an On Guard cleaning, spray, gargling, put it on your body. What I talked about, the nasal and pharyngeal passages, your sinuses, a lot of mechanisms. I carry this on every plane ride I go on. You can get a nasal spray. This is Nutribiotic Nasal Plus. It has grapefruit seed extract, which is antiviral. There's a lovely product called X-Clear, also found at the drugstore. Keeping your nasal passages moist doesn't let virus and bacteria take up home in there. I love this one. Is a colloidal silver throat spray. So colloidal silver, Biocidin, depending on if it's tomato or tomato, is a European company. They have a fabulous product line. And this is Biocidin's broad spectrum liquid formula, and it is also very antiviral and antibacterial. So I would just kind of, A couple drops of that. Very herby. They put a little sweetener in there. But this new Jigsaw Health Pure Whey Plus, the reason I like it is that it's got the vitamin C, and it is whole vitamin C, not ascorbic acid. It has the lysine already added, so there we go. Again, there's antiviral. It has the quercetin. We've all heard about quercetin being so important during this virus season. And it's got a couple other lovely little things in here. But here you're knocking out, taking 2 pills. You can just take one of these. Available at full script on my dispensary if you want to know more about this Pure Whey C+. This is the one I've switched to, so I don't have to take so many pills. Now, another product that I love during the season is from Biotics Research. It's called Bioimmunozyme Forte. These are all the herbs and vitamins that support your immune system being strong and robust. And the list is extensive. It also has lysine. It's got a lot of neonatal ingredients, glandulars, coenzyme CoQ10. It's got citrus bioflavonoids. It's got zinc, copper, magnesium, manganese, selenium. We've heard of selenium and zinc also being very, very antiviral. If you can get organic Brazil nuts and eat 2 Brazil nuts every day, you're good for antivirus. If you know that you tend to be kind of more lung ill, some people get really very respiratory infected as opposed to throat or gut, Biotics makes a gorgeous product called Pneumozyme. It's for protection against pneumonia. So if you are kind of one of those that's repetitive for catching pneumonia, this would be a great Pneumozyme to have that in your cabinet. You can buy lysine just by itself. All the top lines sell lysine. Not a bad thing to have in your cabinet if you are prone to herpes breakouts, cold, fever blisters. But I love that array for antiviral. Spraying, diffusing On Guard in the home, gargling with On Guard, come home, wash your hands, before you go and hang around a bunch of sick babies, spraying your nose with something, making sure you're taking your vitamin C, and that's really what we can do. So it's different. Viruses do not get treated with antibiotics, nor should they. And the common viruses are the cold, COVID, herpes, flu, measles, AIDS, chickenpox, viral hepatitis. So remember, they're tiny. Viruses get into the cell membranes because they're so tiny. They cannibalize the interior of your cell, then they pop out and explode. So we want to keep whatever we can pushing into the cell, and that's why during COVID we were recommending vitamin C, zinc, quercetin. Quercetin is what we call an ionophore. It pushes zinc into the cell and takes up all the receptor sites so that the virus can't take up home there. And I wanted to see if I have any questions. None yet. If you're not on full script yet, let me know. Drop me a line. I can set you up with a dispensary so that you can order any of these fabulous products. I'll also put my doTERRA number down in the comments if you'd like to try some On Guard. Absolutely. I mean, been using this for now going on 10 years. Love it, love it, love it. Now, newsflash, kind of totally off subject, but Beauty Counter right now stays 65% sale going on. 65% select products, limited time till product runs out. And I know I've talked about this before, that the overnight enzyme peel, resurfacing, it's plant enzyme based, combined with the vitamin C brightening serum, are what I consider game changers. The 1-2 punch. This is at night, and probably 3 to 4 nights a week for me. This is every day, every morning. It's an antioxidant, and that's why I've gotten rid of a lot of my brown spots. So if I can help you with more conversation, you want to book a call with me, let's do that. If you need to stock up on your antiviral cabinet, your medicine cabinet, there's a lot of wonderful homeopathic, natural things we can do. And just because we're past New Year's doesn't mean we're in the clear. This is usually the time when people get sick, and rest, hydrate, take hot baths, eliminate your sugar and alcohol, and you should be good to go. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you next week. I forget how to turn this on. Here we go.